20% of global on your plate. Whoa. A new report by WWF has made a plan for the UK to eat its way to our Paris Agreement targets by 2030. The aim of the Paris Agreement is to keep global temperature rises below 2 degrees Celsius. Food and agriculture make up about 20% of global emissions, and that's not even including land use, which takes it up to about 30%, I think. So there's massive room for improvement in this area, but there's also a lot of information around, there's a lot of people muscling into the market, so deciding what to put on your plate can actually be quite a confusing thing. I ran over to our resident food fan Tessa, who's got some amazing top tips for how we can eat our way to our Paris targets.
So tip number 1, I think, is eat more fruit and veg.
Lovely.
Tinned fruits and veg and frozen, generally a bit cheaper, just as good for you.
Can you get the same amount of protein as you can in meat from plants?
Yeah, porridge. If I had a big bowl of porridge with some nuts in, or peanut butter, I like to put peanut butter in my porridge.
Yes.
That's 20% of my daily protein intake.
Nice.
We hear a lot about nuts as being good sources of protein, it's a plant-based one, but there's as much protein in a jacket potato as there is in a handful of nuts.
Ah.
Despite 5-a-day messaging, consumption of fruit and veg has been going down.
Really?
Which I think is quite
Why do you think that is?
Because there is just so much more food marketing out there at the moment, you know? Everywhere you go, what are you going to eat? Sometimes you just forget the basics. You might have kind of fussy kids, people not growing up with it. There's just so much more choice. But yeah, despite UK 5-a-day, the amount of fruit and veg we're eating has been drastically dropping since the 70s.
That's crazy. If you know why, let us know.
Tip 2, eat less of better meat.
The meat and dairy industry accounts for half of environmental emissions from agriculture. Now, I love meat, and for me, the idea of going vegan or vegetarian, I'm not going to. And I think there are some people that find it better to kind of make a behaviour change to go all in and say, okay, I'm going to go teetotal on meat, and that works for me. I don't need to eat meat every day, and I think, you know, if you're in kind of this school of thought of you're happy to think about, okay, well, you might make these really easy shifts. You might want to think about just not eating meat at lunchtime or doing like a 5-2 on meat. I think if you have one less burger a week, that's the same as taking a car off the road for like 320 miles.
Wow.
Tip number 3, so buy seasonal and local where you can. It's usually cheaper, tastes better, it's more exciting. You'll meet the people, hopefully, that have produced that food, and they're going to help broaden your calorie horizons. Tip 4, make the most of your food. We waste about 1/3 of the food we buy. There's loads that we can do to use all of the vegetable, all of the animal, and make sure that, none of our food is going to waste. Tip number 5, and this tip kind of permeates everything else I've said, is plan. It's about having a plan. Plan what you're going to eat that week. You've got to have a plan. I'm such a fanatical planner. It's going to save you time in the long run, and then, you know, if you've got a plan, you can bulk buy and you can batch cook. So you can say, okay, well, I'm going to have my oven on for this, and I'm going to cook 2 lasagnas, or I'm going to make all of these lentils, and I'm going to freeze them, and then I've done next week's food. Have a plan. So, tip number 6 is buy certified, fair trade, tea, coffee, bananas, that kind of thing. For meat, whether it's organic or freedom food or free range eggs, you know, it's really worth buying. Someone out there is taking a look at the welfare of whoever has grown and produced it. You know, are they getting paid a fair wage? Are they being able to support their families? Are they having a sense of security? And is that money being reinvested within the community? Also, what kinds of things are being put on the tea and coffee, and how much water is that using? Your extra 20p is going a really long way.
Is there anything else that you'd like to tell us? Any more top tips?
Yeah, I think the final thing that I would say is enjoy good food in good company, and you can turn from what can be quite a mundane act of refuelling to a bit of a party. I haven't got any tea. No.